Hey, what's up? This is Dwayne Shoots Toys, and you're listening to ToyPhotoCast. We are storytellers.
Tim Rodaloso is a toy photographer from Las Vegas, Nevada. He is interested in Jiu-Jitsu and spends times with his kids, also while studying the Bible and its original translation. His favorite movie has to be Back to the Future. His favorite book is, of course, the Bible. He also is a big fan of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and he loves the Rocky movies as well. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of ToyPhotoCast, and enjoy the episode.
3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? This is another episode of Toy Photo Cast with the one, the only Roddy81. What is up, Tim? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm glad that we're doing this. We had some technical difficulties the first go around, and now we're gonna try to do it again. So here it is,
sir.
round two.
Let's do-
How long? How long have you been doing? You're making me laugh. Oh my god! Okay. Straight face. Here we go. How long have you been doing toy photography, man?
About 2 years. I've been doing this about 2 years.
Okay, and you had mentioned before that you were into Funko before you started. Yeah, you got into Funko, and then you kind of got into photography. So why don't you give a brief explanation of how that happened?
Yeah, I got a couple Funkos for a birthday, and then I went into this store across the street from my house called Brad's Toys because they had some Funkos painted on there, and I'm like, I had like a couple I think it was like Han Solo and like Greedo. So I was
Nice.
I was like, I'll go see what else. Maybe I'll get some Luke, you know what I mean? Something cool,
Yeah.
Darth Vader. So I go in there and man, they had everything in there. So I was like, I was in there like every day spending money, and I collected Funkos like religiously, like in the box collector. I was an in the box collector, would not take anything out.
Wow.
So so I met a couple guys there at the toy store that took pictures of their Funkos, man. Their names are Dan and Tom. Dan's Toy Art, Tom's Toy Art. And I was like, whoa, what are you guys doing, man? Those Funko, like they were taking like $300 Grail Funkos out and like taking pictures of them. I'm like, what are you guys doing? like you're going to damage the box. You're going to get it dirty. And they were like, bro,
You're gonna mess up my Funko, man.
Yeah, bro. They were like, I'll never forget. He goes, bro, you got to set them free. You got to set the Funkos free. You got to set the toys free, man. You can't keep them in the box. So I'm like, all right, man. I'll go out shooting with you guys. Invite me next time. So they invited me, and I went out with them and had a great time, man. And got into posting the photos, and a bunch of my friends thought I was weird at first. Like, what is he doing? My name is Roddy81. That was my personal account. My last name's Rodaloso, and in high school, a lot of people call me Roddy because it was easy.
Yeah.
And 81's my date of birth, but so that was my personal account. I never switched over. I never had like a photography. Now I'm going to do photography. Here's my photography account. No, I was just like, hey guys, surprise, here's some Funkos. I took pictures of. So I had some messages from some friends like, what is this? Like, what is he posting? But I just kind of got into it like that, and then exploring the toy photography, community. I ran into the Black Series page. I have a friend named Javier Ronin 314 who was featured on there. So, clicking, you kind of click page to page, and I found that, and it just, that whole page kind of changed my life, man. I found everyone on there, man. The C3PO bros, Spencer, Jason, and Zay, and Nose Rain and Johnny and Bananas, Jay, Budfatu, Paul, all those guys, man. They were, there's a lot more talent on there too, but those other guys I can name off the top of my head, man, they kind of like they blew my mind, man. And I was like, I'm gonna go get some figures. I didn't even have any action figures, man. And I remember the kid that we were taking pictures of Funkos with. He had some Black Series, and I was like, dude, you got to bring some of your Black Series, man. I wanna try some stuff. You know what I mean? So and then it was from there, man. I never went back to Funkos.
Did you have any background in art, like growing up? Like, what was your the things that you used to do? Like, is your first artistic thing that you've ever done?
Man, you know what? It's funny you asked that, because a lot of people that are into this are like amazing artists. Like, they can draw. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like I know a lot of people that can like just draw up an idea and then they do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, I can't draw for nothing. But I was really into music, and I play several instruments, so I can play the guitar, trumpet, and piano. So I mean, artistically that way, yeah. But like drawing or anything else, no, I'm not. No, I see like Mitchell Wu. He puts a couple sketches that he had for ideas, and then he did his toy for photo like that, and I was like, well, I can't draw nothing artistically like that. Not an artist that way.
That's interesting, man. I didn't know, because I think a lot of people, like, whenever they get into toy photography, they do have like an artistic, and I wasn't meaning just drawing, but like art can be related to music too. And so like there's a lot of different avenues that people kind of incorporate into toy photography. So that's interesting that you say that you're a musician. I can kind of see like influences now. Like what kind of music do you listen to, man?
Well, mostly when I was younger, it was mostly rap. But then as I went through high school, turned into Metallica, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just progressed from there. And now I can listen from anything from death metal to old country Johnny Cash. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, it's just my as I get older, my influences and my I guess my maturity, my spectrum, my thinking broadens. You know what I mean? I'm not so one dimensional. You know what I mean? Or
yeah, for sure.
I don't just think, oh, only rap is cool. You know what I mean? Because when you're a kid, rap is cool and everything else is lame. Right. But when you get older, you start to, and especially being a musician, I mean, you really start to appreciate all types of music, from orchestra music to like I said, death metal. You know what I mean? It goes hand in hand almost, which is why you see Metallica performing with symphonies. So yeah. I mean, I love the artistic perspective like that. You know what I mean? But
for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. How do you feel like, since you first started out taking photos, do you feel like you've kind of progressed? Do you feel like you've gotten any better since you first started?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like I've gotten better, but man, I'll tell you, nobody's harder on themselves than me.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. Like I'll tell you, I used to post every single day, and talking to a lot of guys that have been in this a long time. Like Nick Shakem and Johnny and those guys. They I don't know if you remember, but Nick Shakem, he used to do like a critiquing, like have like a critiquing live where you'd send him your photos and he would critique your photos and tell you what you could have done better or what he liked about it.
Right.
But they told me, they would always say quality, not quantity, So, I felt almost pressured I have to have a picture for the nightly posting. I have to have a picture for the nightly posting. I don't have a picture, you know, I have to do one today. So every day I would have to post something, and it almost felt like it was pressure, like, oh man, I got to post something today. So I got to go. I was like running home after work to get my camera to go out to the desert, you know, to do something. It's like 120 degrees and I'm still in my work clothes. I'm laying on the ground out in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. It was like I felt like I had it. And then, you know, sometimes sometimes it came out great, you know, on the fly, but other times, you know, you're not happy with it, and you don't want to post it, but you'd have nothing else, so you just post. So I really kind of backed up from posting so much. Now I post maybe like 3 to 4 times a week, and sometimes even I don't think I've posted less than 3 times a week, but I would if I didn't have anything, because now I would say in this past 2 months I won't post it unless I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff that I post that I mean, I've posted so much I've deleted it in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, I'm really hard on myself with that aspect. You know, I send my photos sometimes before I post. I've sent it to Bananas and different people, and Nick and a lot of different people. And I've said, like, hey, man, what do you think? Do you think I could do this better? Do you think I should reshoot this? You know what I mean? Do you think there's lighting is good? Do you think this is portraying what I'm trying to come across? Is this guy too blurry in the back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of details and everything in it. Just it'll bother me if one thing's off, you know?
For sure. That's crazy, man. Like, I don't think I've ever asked this, but like, did you like foresee this becoming as big a part of your life as it is now? Like, since you say you do it so much, like, did you kind of see it? Like, are you just that type of person where you're super laser focused and whatever your hobby is, you just stay focused on it? Like, did you kind of see it happening that way?
Dude, actually, you know, I am like that now that you say it kind of like that, because like when I got into the guitar, like no one taught me. I didn't have any classes, but I just practiced and practiced for years, and bought tablature books, and I would spend hours and hours and hours just teaching myself until I got good, you know, until I could play without tablatures, so till I could read music, you know.
Right.
And then I got into MMA, and I was doing Jiu-Jitsu for a lot of years, and I would do that, man, like daily almost, where it was like almost obsessive. You know what I mean? Like I would just do it morning and night. I would do it 3 times a day sometimes, you know,
Wow.
like at least 5 days a week. And the only reason it was 5 days is because they were closed on the weekends. And so then when I did switch jobs, and so that kind of fell off, where I wasn't being able to train as much anymore. And I kind of fell into this with the Funkos. And then, like you said, man, I got into it as a kind of like a fun hobby to do on the weekend. And then I just started really focusing on it and enjoying it. And it became like a kind of like a passion, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like something I cared about. Like, I started caring, like I cared about my work. I cared if you know, like I said, if one foot's off, I'm like, oh man, delete it. You know what I mean?
I know,
Like,
dude. I know. Like, I'm interested, like, by that, like, mind that you have about it, because I'm similar, like, in a similar way. Like, I have very laser focused passions, and like same thing with toy photography. Once I get bit with that bug, I was just like, okay, this is all I want to do. And it's interesting because sometimes like things in your life can kind of suffer because of that, because you're so laser focused. And I can say that from myself. Like, my wife had to like reel me back a couple times. She's like, this is all you talk about. You need to like find something else to level you out. But it's interesting, man. I think like you obviously are really obsessed with progressing and getting better.
for sure.
Do you think there's ever like a point when you're ever going to just be like, this is something that I'm great at and I'm going to pursue something else? Or do you think you're always going to be doing this?
I don't know, man, because, I tell, like, you see, like, plastic act, you see Jax and Nose Ring and Jesse and Bananas. I mean, these guys are like bumping it to the like every time I told Bananas this, man, before. I'm like, man, it's like once you think like that you're getting better, it's like those guys bump it up to the next level. You know what I mean? Like they take toy photography up another level. You're just like, wow, I got some work to do. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe they just posted that. It just shattered everything for me. You know what I mean?
I know.
But like that's what you said about being focused on progressing. Sometimes I feel, sometimes you can get stagnant. Everybody's nice in the everyone's nice to your photos. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh man, great, awesome,"
Yeah.
And it's easy sometimes just to, I guess, just to stay there because no one's really critiquing you. No one's saying, "Hey, you should work on your lighting. Hey, you should work on your depth. Hey, if you did this, you can be better at this." No one's really saying that to anybody. So the only really critic that you have, I guess, or that, for me, is me. And when I see someone else, when I see, I would have to say my biggest influence right now. I mean, there's been so many. I mean, from Jesse. I mean, when I first started with Black Series and I met everything Kylo, Jesse, and Boba Pat, he was in it. He's actually, Boba Pat's a local, and he was one of the first dudes I've seen featured on Black Series. He taught me a lot of outdoor photography, wires and fireworks, and and then it just kind of progressed from there. But for right now, I can say, I'm kind of obsessed with, and I've been obsessed with like lighting in photography, and I got that from Johnny from Sergeant Bananas. And I told him, I was like, man, you have this. He has this one group shot of turtles, and they're kind of like chilling on the Necadillo, and they're like chilling on the end of it. And I think one of them even has this like foot hanging off, and it's like a group shot, and it looks really cool. But what was cooler was when I saw his BTS, when I saw his behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I thought, when you look at the picture, it looks like he's in a dark room, and he's using maybe like one light, to focus on it. And when you see the BTS, he's in a fully lit room, and he has all these lights, and one light's in the back, and then one light's like kind of like off to the side, one light's directly on him. I'm like, how did he get that? And it was just like, that really got me to push my camera and learn how to manipulate light through my camera.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, if you see I don't know, I post my BTS sometimes, but there's like, I have like 3 light panels, 4 cubes. I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm overdoing it, but if you look at my last few shots, and just check out the lighting. Like, I feel like lighting, besides, I'm going to take a page out of Johnny's book, posing. Besides posing, and lighting is like one of the most important things to me that I learned, that you can create a whole mood, and you can create something out of nothing, out of an okay shot with just the right lighting,
Yeah, for sure. So how long do you feel like it takes you now to get like a shot that you got in your mind, and you get it like shot, then do you do any post processing? Do you do any editing? And then when you post it, how long does that take for you to get it all done?
From what do you mean? From when I start setting up the shot till when I edit it and then post it?
Yeah, just like the whole creative process.
Oh boy. Sometimes, bro, you know what, man? Sometimes some of my best work that people are like, "Oh man, that's so awesome!" Like I get the most it'll get like 700 likes, and it was a shot I did in 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
the simple ones.
yeah, and then it just came out great. I don't know. It's like everything falls into place, you know? And then, like I think for my Ghostbuster shot, the last couple Ghostbuster shot, man, it took me like maybe an hour and a half to set it up. And I mean that's four figures you have to pose and then set the lighting right and and I'm using inside dios and props and everything's important. When I learned about indoor photography, like a lot of these guys, Jackson, Nose Rain, and all those guys that shoot indoors a lot, is details, man. Details make a lot of difference, man. You can see
sure.
you can see something cool, you can see a cool picture, but then you're like, oh, is he? Oh my gosh, look what he put in there. You know what I mean? It's like those little details make the picture so much cooler. So like placement of newspaper or cans or just anything that I could make more detailing, it just makes it cooler. So I mean, some shots can take up to 2 hours, man, for me to, and I'm obsessed with editing. Like I just can't wait to edit sometimes, you know what I mean? Like I know the shot came out good, but I'm like, oh man, am I going to use a warm light? Am I going to use a cool lighting? Am I going to, I don't know how it's going to look. I mean, when it's blown up on the computer, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is the shot, and I blow it up and it's blurry. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, dude, I deleted the other two because this was the shot and it's blurry. So now I got to redo everything. But that's one of my favorite parts too, is kind of, and I don't have Photoshop, so I don't do any Photoshop really. I just do a little bit of messing with the temperatures and a light, and I would love to do Photoshop, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I haven't. I mean, because I look at like Tom's, man, Eye of Atu, man, oh man, his stuff, it's just sometimes blows me away, man. With
it's like fine art.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's art, and that's what I'm like. And I'm like, man, would I even be able to do that if I had Photoshop? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, do you actually draw that out on Photoshop, or do you just like click it and move it? You know what I mean? Like,
There's so much, like it is a tool that's like endless. Like there's so many things you can do, and I've just used I've scratched like the surface using Photoshop, so I'm not at all like a expert, but I do appreciate people that know how to do it.
yeah, like even like Jax's photo that he did for your podcast, and he had Hulk walking down the street with the Toy Photo Podcast shirt on.
I
I
know.
thought that was pretty. Just little details, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Little details like that make a picture so much cooler.
I know. It's crazy. Like I think like I feel like that's something like a lot of people should consider, because there's a lot of people that are so anti Photoshop, and there's so many incredible like little tricks you can do to kind of make your photo that's already great, like make it over the top. Like,
Yeah.
I've taken a couple photos myself that were like decent, and then threw it in Photoshop, changed the background and changed the lighting, and I was like, this is a completely different photo. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, if I had Photoshop and learned how to do it, I'd probably do it. You know what I mean? I do it more. I do it more, definitely. Just playing around with it. Just getting. I mean, like you said, just learning it and playing with your. I'm obsessed with editing. So if I had Photoshop, like you said, and like what you do with your pics and change the back, if I knew how to do that, change backgrounds and add this and like, one thing I love that Tom does is he lightens the eyes to almost where it almost looks like a real eye, coming out off the screen. That's one thing that I think is the coolest thing about what he does. I mean, it almost brings the photo to life,
Yeah.
And
sure.
I mean, I would probably use it more, but then at the same time, I love AC
ACBA.
Yeah, ACBA work too. I mean, when you create something with, you know, plastic or you know, I have a mushroom a bomb that I made out of cotton in a Tupperware container, and I use it in some of my shots. But that's one of my favorite effects that you know, what do you call it? Practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
I think that stuff really blows my mind too, is when people can have the creativity to find things that don't have Photoshop and make it into something, and you're like, man, is that water? Or, you know, oh my gosh, that's not water, that's plastic. You know, where you're asking yourself, is that Photoshop, or did he use something there? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I think is the coolest thing. That's what I like using, like, you know, sometimes the behind the scenes, how people do things, you know, like, you know, Warrior Evans, Casey, you know, he does a lot of good ACBA shots, you know, just people's behind the scenes. I tell people, man, post your behind the scenes, man. It really helps people that you probably don't think coming up, or people that are following you that you maybe never even talked to, but they're clicking on your BTS to see how you're doing it, and you're learning. I mean, I learned a lot from people's BTS, you know, lights and how they set up and how they got their finished product, you know?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I think that's a perfect place to take a break, and we'll get right back to Toy PhotoCast with Roddy81. Stay right there. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Toy PhotoCast with Roddy81. What's up, Tim? Thank you for coming back on the show.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
It's been a blast. It's funny because, like, we actually, people don't know this, but we had like a 3-week kind of back and forth trying to finish the podcast. So we were finally doing it. So it's been hard to kind of like align everything with our schedules, and because you live in Las Vegas, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's kind of difficult with the time difference. And then I go to work now super early, so it's kind of hard for me to stay up late, but we're doing it, and we're back. So
it's been fun, man. It's been I got to know you a little better.
We did. Yeah, it's funny because like we tried to record one night, and then we ended up just talking the entire night, and it was a great conversation, and I felt like we both needed it. Like, yeah. It was really good stuff. So yeah.
Good timing. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So jumping right back into it. I don't think we talked about this in the last time we recorded, but I wanted to know if you had kind of an idea of where you see yourself like in the future, like what's kind of your goal with this hobby, and is this something that you want to pursue as a hobby, or is this something that you want to maybe look at it at a professional place eventually?
Yeah, I've thought about it, and you know, it's cool when, you know, places reach out to you, you know, like Mezco wants to use your photos, and you know, different companies send you something, you know what I mean? That always makes you feel good, but you know, I don't know. I always feel pressure. I always feel pressure when you have to do that, and you know, I feel like my best work doesn't come out when I'm pressured. I feel like I just did one of my favorite pictures that I just posted was that Nosferatu picture I just posted with the horses, and that was just like on a whim, and it was like one of my favorite pictures. I thought it came out really good, and I didn't know how it was going to come out. It was just kind of like I'm going to try this and see how it works, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes you know, just sometimes my best work just comes out like just.
I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like,
it just happens, you know.
It just kind of flows together, and you know, it seems to me like you're an easygoing person, you're very chill,
Yeah,
and that's kind of the vibe that you create the best in. And
for sure,
the fact
dude.
that you're able to recognize it is really key too, so you can get in that place where you're creative. And if you know that you're stressed out, you're probably not going to have a good time, therefore you're not going to make, good art. So
Yeah, or I don't get, you don't talk to too many people in the community anymore because you're too busy trying to, they're sending, like Hasbro will send you a wave and you have to take all the photos of all these figures, and you're on like a deadline or something, So just
mhm.
I don't know, maybe one day, but where I'm at in my life right now, I almost just do it just like as a just almost like a therapy, almost just to like create something, just to
Yeah.
create art, I don't even
Yeah.
look at it as art. A lot of people do look at it as art, but like, I don't know. I just look at it as creativity. I don't know. Imagine, like, that's why like I like a lot of ACBA or yeah, uh, photos,
Right.
articulated comic book art, um, photos, just because I love the creativity. I mean, some of the photos aren't that great because a lot of guys, they don't have really nice cameras, but like the creativity, how they created an explosion or breaking glass or just everything that's just tangible and you know made something that's made. It's not. I mean, like I said before, I'm not against Photoshop at all, but
Yeah.
I almost like admire. I'm like, oh wow, you made that. You know what I mean? Or you used a light to highlight that. I thought you used Photoshop to highlight that light. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. It just, that stuff always stood out to me. I just always enjoyed the creative side of it.
For sure. I mean, that is something that, like, kind of affects us all, right? Because we're all trying to create something, and we're all trying to use this hobby, this platform, this whatever you want to call it, however you want to label it. We're all doing it in a way to try to express ourselves, but also we're telling stories. We're trying to uplift each other, especially in times that as serious as we are in, with everything going on in the world. So it's a way to de-stress. It's a way to kind of take your eyes off of everything that's kind of maybe got you bogged down. You can kind of just breathe a little bit and something funny, creative, and come back to your life and feel a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man. I know sometimes when, I guess the creative side can could work against you because sometimes it comes together and I feel really good about it. Like that, my last shot, I was like, wow, it came out way better than I thought it was going to. And or I mean, sometimes you just have this idea and it's just not coming out, and you're just like, well, I'm just gonna come back to this tomorrow because my brain is not even working right now. Like I'm like, it's just not. Sometimes I just I would leave a setup on the table, and I just have to come back. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I talk to somebody in the community. You know what I mean? One of the high up guys, like bananas or something like that. And I just ask questions, or, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think? Or what do you think I could do different here? And they'll always be like, well, I'd change the lighting or this, or the posing is off a little bit. And I'll be like, then I'll get different point of view and I'll go back to it and I'll be like, man, he was right. You know what I mean? So like, that was bad. So I just play with it and then play with the lighting and then it works out. You know what I mean? But sometimes you got to just like, sometimes that creativity, that the image you see in your brain isn't coming out, and it can make you frustrated to where, you know what I mean? Like you just want to flip the table over, but sometimes just stopping, breathing, coming back the next day, and then redoing it can give you a fresh start, and then it works out.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that something that you do often? Is that you kind of ask for advice or tips on shots, or like, because that's something I don't really do that often anymore. But is that something that you like to do?
I do, man. I do. I've asked multiple people, how they like their lights, or I know I've called Jason Michael. I FaceTimed him a few times. You know what I mean? Talking about his lights and stuff, or his setup, or I know he gave away his dad's Popeye thing dock that he made him. But when he first got that, he was showing me that. I like to see people's props, people's setups, how they did something, or I feel like that's how you learn. I mean, I feel like one of my favorite verses in the Bible is wise men listens to wise counsel. You know what I mean? So I always, will listen to people that are, better than me, or even people that maybe, I don't know, maybe not better than me, but they have a good idea. So I'll ask them, I'll be like, hey man, what do you think of that? Or how'd you come up with that? Or, what'd you do? How'd you get your, figure to do that or whatever, and just get tips and ideas, and then you just kind of formulate your own thing, and it comes together,
For sure, man. Yeah, it's awesome when people will message me too, because they'll ask for tips or something, and I don't consider myself like the ultimate guru, but I, after doing the podcast for so long and for doing the future page that I run, there's some things that I've kind of noticed over time. It's be like, this is maybe try this. I was talking to Jake, Force Photos, I think that's his handle. And he was asking me a question the other day, and he was like, hey man, like, what do you think of this? And I just did really something simple like that. Maybe he considered, like, he was asking about like the framing or what I thought. And I just cropped it in. Like, all I did was crop it in, like maybe like a quarter, like just cropped it in a little bit and just changed the focus, like the eye trail. And he was like, wow, like I can really tell, like, and that's something that for me is like I feel like that's like one of my top things I look for in a photo is like, what are my eyes immediately drawn to? What are my eyes then drawn to next? And then what are they drawn to next? So like, that's like how composition works in photography. Is like, there's something, that's how storytelling is working too. It's like you're trying to convey emotion, you're trying to convey all these different things. But if you just look at an image and your eyes don't go anywhere, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you like you look at an image, it's like, I don't even know what to look at. Like, you know what I'm saying? But there's the people that really get that, like, and there's a bunch of them out there that do it so well that maybe they don't even know that they're doing it. But that's like a crucial photography like hack that you can implement, is like learning how to direct the story through focus and through different things. But I want to kind of transition to another topic. I know you're a positive guy. I know that after me and you talking for a good while last time, like, we both have similar beliefs and values. And so I'm curious, I want to hear what your thoughts are on the toy photography community as a whole. And what do you think we're doing right? What do you think we're doing wrong? And how can we make this a better place?
Oh man. Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Just dropped the bomb on you.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for the community. You know what I mean? If I didn't see this whole thing of people that come together and share their photos with each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that really was like, I'm like, wow, I can't even believe I didn't know there was like a group of people I didn't know there was a whole, there's a whole universe, pretty much. There's a whole world, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely
people in other countries, and I've met people in other countries, Cad's Toys and all them over there. I don't know exactly, like India and all everywhere over there, you know what I mean? And it's I definitely don't think I would be where I'm at if it wasn't for all the good people that I've met, all the good art that I've seen, all the good photos that I've seen, all the good inspiration that I've drawn from everywhere, man. I'm telling you, everywhere, everybody. I can just name 50 people off the top of my head that I've over the years just, got inspiration from, that pushed me to be better, that pushed me to even shoot indoors. Because, for the first I would say for the first year or two, I didn't even shoot indoors. I didn't even know how to do an indoor setup. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just seeing people's things, seeing people's work, and seeing behind the scenes, I'm like, man, I want to try to shoot indoors. So I mean, even that changed everything for me to where I you know, I obsess about lighting. You know what I mean? I'm really into lighting, and I think that's what draws my eyes to pictures is lighting. You know what I mean? Like if it's well lit or if it's lit real special, I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like there's tons of photos on your feature page. The was it 112 community now?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That I go on there, and when you post something, I'm like, wow, that is an awesome photo. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then I look at him, I'm like, dude, I don't even know this guy. I'm not even following him. So
I know.
I go in there, I check him out, and then I start following him or something. You know what I mean? You know, so you know, the first thing I can say is, you know, without good or bad, good things, bad things, you know, good or bad, I wouldn't be where I'm at in my photography, in my as far as I've come with this hobby, if it wasn't for this community, you know. And
That's awesome.
yeah, so I mean, for anything negative, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, there's negative things in everything, you know what I mean? You can look at, I just look at, you know, I just try to look at, you know, what everyone's doing out there. What work are they doing? You know, I mean, there's a lot of good people, and a lot of good people have reached out to me, and you know, like especially what, like you said, what we've been going through and everything, and there's been a lot of people with a lot of different views than others, and people fighting and arguing. I can say that, you know, that's probably been the negative thing over the last few months is you know, we forget, you know, that we're all part of the same, you know, the
Community. Yeah.
same community, you know what I mean? And not everyone's going to think the same. And, you know, but you know what, you know, we're all in this together, man. And we're creating art, you know what I mean? And in the end of, in at the end of the day, it's like, bro, I've met so many people I would never even be friends with.
I know.
Or you, I would have never met you or talked to you if I hadn't picked up a toy, or I haven't picked up an action figure. It like brings, there's just so many things in this world that bring people, that tear people apart, that sever relationships, that bring communities down. But man, this community has something that brings us all together. And I think that's what makes this community so special. It's like, no matter what race you are, no matter, you know, where you live in the world, we all have the same interests. You know what I mean? We all have something that brings us all together, all around the world, into one time, at one time in the night, to where we look at each other's work for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I think is awesome about this community. That's what I think is awesome about what we do, is like, it's just bringing people around the world together to like display, like, hey man, this is what I did today. What do you think? You know what I mean?
Dude, I love the way you put that though. It's true. Like this community it's so vital to the art and to the craft. And I think would we still be doing this if there wasn't the community? I think we would, but I don't think there would be as much maybe there wouldn't be as much as a enjoyment, because a lot of people, you know, they come to toy photography because they have a love for pop culture, or they have a love for, you know, the figures or whatever it may be, but then they stay for the community, they stay for the people, and they're inspired to create because you have those connections and you have those people that you want to inspire. And I feel like that's kind of been like, for myself, just speaking like for myself, that it's been a transition for me, trying to shy away from trying to create content that, like, instead of trying to build a massive following, because that's like the rabbit on a, or what, not rabbit, the carrot on a stick kind of, you know, thing. Like you're always wanting to create a bigger audience, and that's like really unfulfilling. But when you start to try to create content that is meaningful to people and that really like their day is impacted by that, that's how I'm trying to post now. Like my posting from feature pages or whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to make content that when people open the app and they look at it, they leave. And I know a lot of people do this. I'm just saying for myself, because I haven't really tried to do this like until recently, but I'm just trying to make content now that people leave and they feel uplifted and they feel a little bit more hopeful and hopefully put a smile on their face. But yeah, that's something that I think you do, man, very well. I think that's just your spirit and the way that you present yourself and the way that you come across on your social medias, man. I think it's very impacting, man. I'm very excited to see whenever you do something new.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's changed. Now that you were talking about this, it's changed over time because when I first got into it, I got featured on like a top toy photos or where toys dwell or something like that, and I was like, whoa, hey, somebody featured my thing, and I had no idea about feature pages and anything like that, and
right.
So now when I got featured, then it was like, I wanted to get featured again, or I wanted to make Black Series, Star Wars Black Series, so I wanted to get featured by them, and then once you did, and then it's like. But then, when it didn't get featured, I started to get like, a little bit like bitter about it or down about it or like, like, come on, man, this is like way better than that. Like, why didn't you, but it's like, it's changed because like you said, with the people, some people like, want the followers or whatever, I think it's changed for me, man. It's changed from wanting features to wanting followers to wanting likes. Because honestly, dude, I mean, I don't ever think I've had close, but I don't think I've ever had over 1,000 likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my followers have gone up a lot, but it's nowhere close. I mean, I might be close to 4,000, but there's my buddy Jesse, everything Kylie, he has 10,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right.
It's like I don't know. I don't really as this has progressed. As I've gotten older, I don't know, maybe it's just matured in this photography game, I guess. I just look at like, I hope you like it. You know what I mean? I turned from, wanting to be featured, wanting to get followers to, or wanting, toy companies to hit me up or see my work to like maybe, I hope you guys just like this photo. I hope this doesn't suck. I hope you enjoy it. And then like, when people comment and they leave all the comments, because man, I got so many good people. There's so many good people that and the same people, man, that have always supported me since day one. You know what I mean? And they still to this day, and it's been years now, that they've never failed to leave a comment on my photo, an encouraging comment or great job or like it. And, that almost makes me feel better than a feature, than followers. It's just, man, they really like it. Like on my last shot, so many people shared it in their stories. People were saying, man, this is the best Nosferatu shot I've seen. And that really meant a lot because, dude, there was, when that figure came out, there was so many good, I mean, there still is coming so many great shots. I mean, I didn't even know what to do. You know what I mean? Because everyone kind of did movie shots and everything. And I was just kind of nervous. I was like, man, I want to do something cool, but I want it to be a little different. You know what I mean? And it kind of came together well. And everybody really liked it. I got so many good responses. So it's like, I don't even care that I didn't get featured for it on some page. I don't even care about, any how many followers I got or how many likes it even got. I don't even think it got 400 likes. You know what I mean? But man, all the comments, all the shares in people's stories. I mean, like genuine comments, not like nice. You know what I mean? But like the super cool comments like that were like, man, this is top work. You've outdone yourself, or out, man, this is one of my favorite Nosferatu shots that I've seen. And I'm like, dude, that means more to me that people liked it, people enjoyed it, than anything else. I mean, yeah, I've had people just DM me, say, man, I really love that shot, and I'm like, man, thank you so much, man. That means more when somebody takes the time out. They love your photo so much they take the time out to just send you a private message and say, man, I really enjoy your work. Man, that to me, that's a successful photo. I don't care how many likes it gets, and I don't care if it never gets featured.
Yeah, for sure. That is something that you can't really try to chase either. Like, it just, when it happens, and like you can just like enjoy it in the moment that it really, reached people and spoke to them. But like what that can become that in itself too can become something you can chase, and when it doesn't happen, it's like disappointing. But it's crazy, man. Like this whole like world that we live in now, like with we place so much importance on how we feel based on like the way we're presenting ourselves to the world. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is something that I have struggled with for years, man, of like being like, well, if I didn't create a good piece of content for whatever I was doing and in my 15 million things I'm doing, then I'm like, oh, then it wasn't a good day and I didn't get anything done. And it's like, you have to like transcend that and realize like, it's not about like really trying to get like some sort of like, because in the United States where we're all obsessed with fame, we're obsessed with trying to be famous in some degree or whatever our desired hobby or influence. Yeah, we're all seeking that level of like, and it's really, I mean, honestly, if you look at it and you're just being 100% honest, it's only so many people that reach that status. But like for the people that connect with you on a daily basis, and you do have a community of people that really look up to you, like focus on them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's people out there that do that already. And there's so many great people that just like, they know who their followers are. They know the people that connect with them and they're making content for them. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people out there that are always like grasping for straws and wanting more and more thousands and thousands of followers. And it's like, just cater to the people that follow you right now. They love your stuff. They're following you for a reason, and give them a reason. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe I'm just talking to myself. I don't know, but
no, I completely agree with you, man. That's what one of the things I was saying was it's easy to get caught up in that. And like I said, when I first started, I mean, it was just like, well, I got featured. What's a feature, man? What is this? Top toy photos. Like I'm a top toy photographer. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like top toy photos of the world. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Something awesome. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know, but it just felt good that somebody shared it, and then on their page gets so many likes, and and that's what I get caught up in. Like you said, I get caught up in features. I got caught up in doing shots because I want to be featured on Black Series, or I want to be featured here, or instead of just doing it and enjoying it, and I feel like that's where I'm at right now. It's like, because I used to pump out photos every day. And, talking to like, Shakem, Nick, and other people, Dave Still Shoots or Bear Trap, I learned that, it's all about quality, not quantity. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
I don't have to come up. I used to feel the pressure, like it's almost 6 o'clock and I don't have a shot. I need to hurry up and set up a shot because I have to post by 8. You know what I mean? So it's like I was rushing to just so I had content. I needed content daily. And then, and now it's like, I just take my time and I let it come, and I shoot when I really feel like it. You know what I mean? Like when I got this Nosferatu, like I know I keep talking about that because that's my last figure I just got in, and everyone's been shooting it because it's a really cool figure. You know, I really have enjoyed it, and you know, when I got that figure, it just inspired me to shoot it right away. But then I had the pressure of, well, everyone shot this already, and I've seen so many great photos. I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know, so it's like, you know, just I guess I just get the inspiration drawing, and that's what we're talking about, the community too. Because if there was no community, I don't think I definitely would not be come as far as I've come in my photography work, because seeing people better than me, you know, what is his name? I think French Toy Love, or I mean, he was one of the, Toy Floxen, I think, and he's
As one.
Cretic. Yeah.
As one's amazing.
Yeah, dude, those those pages like that, 1/6 shooter, Tom, you know what I mean, Plastic Action, Jax, you know, all those guys, man, they all push me. If there was no them, there would be no me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, they all pushed me, man. And see, even back, I mean, I'm looking at Plastic Action's old stuff and just blown away. You know what I mean?
I know.
I'm like, man, this the dirt. I mean, he doesn't really do any more dirt flying. I think, you know, when you first get into it, you get caught up in the dirt and everything like that. And, you know, but unless you're Jesse and he's just made it a craft and he's just on another level with it. You know what I mean? But you know, everyone wants to capture that. But then, you know, now he's kind of progressed himself in the more lighting and the more posing and the more themes and I guess whatever he does. But dude, that progression and that pushing himself pushes me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's like they raise another bar. I always tell, you know, like Bananas, man. He's like, they're those guys are raising the bars. You know what I mean? It's like, what you think that this is the top, they push the bar a little further. You're like, what is this? You know what I mean?
I think they do it on purpose, man. Shout out to you guys. I know you're listening to this. Like, I think they do it on purpose. They're like, oh snap, that guy just like raised the bar. Let me just pull something out of my back pocket here and just like make all you guys kind of like reach that next ladder. It's insane. Like, it's crazy. And I think creativity breeds creativity. I think when you are creative, that there's that ripple effect. You know what I mean? It's like that drop in a pond, and there's gonna be those ripples. It's like you can't help but not be influenced and inspired when you look at stuff like that. It's like it's gonna stir something in you to like, man, I want to do something like that. I want to create something like that. And I think all of us to some degree kind of started that way, where we saw photography, we saw like, man, that's a toy, like that, like that's like what, like, you know what I mean? So, and now we're like like people are at the level now where it's better than movies. You know what I mean? Like I get more enjoyment like scrolling Instagram, looking at toy photography than like 9 out of 10 movies I watch.
Yeah, for sure. That's mostly all I'm doing on Instagram is like, if you just scroll down my friends, like I have no real people. It's just toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing else. You know, I think I was showing a coworker. I'm like, dude, look at this. It's just toy after toy after toy photography. You know, but it's like I said, it's just drawing inspiration all day. I mean, you're scrolling and then then you stop and you're like, whoa, what is this? You know, I know a couple of Jason Michael's last shots, man, it really you know, blown me away, you know what I mean, with his posing and his lighting. And I think the one where he had the skulls jumping over the fence, I'm like, man, that's such a great idea to have that fence.
He's got such a like crazy, like, how do I describe it? Like, him having that filmmaker background, like he has such an understanding of like what's cinematic. Like, it blows me away. Like, shout out to Jason, man. Like, you're doing crazy stuff.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
whenever you like notice like the guys and girls that are doing cinematic stuff, like that to me is my favorite. Like I think we've talked about this multiple times, but the cinematic stuff, the stuff that's like movie quality shots, like where you really have to do like a triple take to be like, is that a toy? Is that real life? Is that like a cosplayer? I don't know what's going on here, but it's mind blowing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest compliments I can get too is when I go to work and my coworkers like, dude, you know, some of your other shots look like toys, but that one didn't look that looked like the movie. You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah,
oh, man, thanks, man. I really appreciate that,
Isn't it a crazy compliment? I've gotten that a few times where like a coworker or one of my family members like, I thought you just posted like a movie still. Like I was like, no man, like that was a toy. Like, and that to me is the ultimate compliment. But let's transition one more time. I got two more questions for you and then we'll wrap it up. But I know that you love, I always see you posting your stories working out at Planet Fitness, but let's talk about your regiment for kind of how you stay on top of either fitness or exercise, eating, all that stuff. I love to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, I've always, when I was just got out of high school, I got a job at 24 Hour Fitness, and I worked there for 4 or 5 years, and I really got into the health and fitness through there, and supplementation and learning, and they at that time they really educated you on the stuff so you can educate people that came in to get memberships. You know what I mean? Because if you know what you're talking about, then you can sell memberships. So I really learned a lot working there, and the importance of health and fitness and supplementation. And it's just been something I always kind of did until, like, I think it's 10 years ago, I got real serious and I stopped drinking and partying and all that stuff. And then just been pretty much sober doing it. And I've also done, like MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, which is something I really, really enjoy too, is Jiu-Jitsu. But yeah, man, I think it's important, not only health reasons, but mentally, whenever I'm having problems or struggles, I really think it's important to take care of your body, you know what I mean? Or I really believe the body goes where the mind goes. If you stay strong mentally, you can stay strong physically. If you get sick mentally, you can get sick physically. You know what I mean?
And vice versa too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just listening. I was actually just listening to something about how the mind, the mind can make the body do things, but really the mind can't do anything without the body. You know what I mean? So it's like trying to control your thoughts, like like worries. Like we worry about the future, and it takes a mental health, it takes a physical stress on us today on something that isn't even happened yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like controlling your thoughts, controlling your mind. I know the Bible talks about that all the time. Controlling what we think, controlling how we think. And I really believe that has a big part. Your mental and your health has a big part to do with each other.
100%.
Yeah, so I really try to push in, and when bad things happen in my life, I push into fitness, I push into exercise, I push into eating better. That really pumps me. When things go wrong or I go through a breakup with a relationship or something, it pushes me to eat healthier. It pushes me to lose 20 pounds. You know what I mean? To get shredded. You know what I mean? So. And I enjoy it, and on top of that, just a bonus because I just enjoy it. And my kids, they come with me, and my son comes with me, and that they all work out at the gym, and my daughter's doing keto right now, and my son goes to the gym every day, and so it's progressed down to where my kids are now living in it too. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, it's so powerful, man, and I love what you said. I don't think anybody has ever said that on the show before, but being able to kind of like, you want to get to a place mentally where you're feeling more maybe stress-free, but
Yeah.
like the body really does kind of dictate where the mind's going to be. And like, I know a lot of people may not understand this unless you've actually applied this personally, but if you get on a regimen of just walking, like during your lunch break, say you got a lunch break and you're just going to take a walk, go outside, take a 10-minute walk. And there was a study done. I was listening to a podcast. By the way, shout out to the, forgot the name. I'll have to say it later, but there was a podcast I was listening to that talked about the effects of, oh, I'm sorry, the Model Health Show. You need to listen to the Model Health Show. It's amazing. Like the #1 podcast on iTunes.
Nice.
They were talking about how this girl was talking about the effects of stress and how, like, microdose stress. Like there's micro stresses and then there's big stresses. Like they kind of, scientists have like labeled them in 2 categories. So you have like little micro stress, like you wake up in the morning and the alarm clock goes off, boom, that's one. That's a micro stress. Then you hit snooze and you get another alarm in 15 minutes or 10 minutes and boom, it's another stress. And then maybe you slept in a little bit, then maybe you hit some traffic on the way to work. That's another stress. And by the time you get to work, you're already at your threshold for stress.
Yeah.
You're already there. And so like the first person comes by, says something to you didn't like, and all of a sudden you're just like having a fit. You know what I mean? And you're like, why am I so upset? Because like you're already at your threshold. And one of the things that kind of like counteracts that is, I know it's kind of like anti-intuitive to what we're so programmed to do, but like put your phone down on your lunch break. Don't take any technology, no headphones, nothing. Just go outside and get a walk for 10 minutes and do this every day for a week. And you will, there's a lot of science backing this, but what it's going to do is going to disconnect you from all of the stresses of, trying to connect with people. And then a lot of people like to power through their lunch break. They don't even stop, but like having that moment where you're walking, you're in nature, you're able to de-stress, do some deep breathing. And it's going to be such an impactful way to kind of be able to manage your day. Because I know for me, I work in a high stress place. It's so stressful where you can't even imagine how stressful it is. And it's hot. It's like 95 degrees. And so people's attitudes are like through the roof. So like you just have to take a moment sometimes and just like get alone, take a walk. But yeah, that's something that's helped me. But it's interesting to see kind of the effects though of how stress affects differently to different people too.
For sure, man. I feel blessed, man, because I work for the city and I work for the parks department. So dude, I'm in the parks all day. Like I'm talking like 8-12 acres of just park, walking around, trees, birds, coyotes, you know what I mean? Like,
that's awesome.
I'm just in nature all the time. Sometimes I stop and I look around. I got a little, golf cart that I drive from each park to park, and I sometimes I'm stopping and it's like the day's so beautiful. I'm just like, man, how lucky am I? I'm out here. The day's awesome. People are jogging. Birds are chirping, the sun is out, and it feels great. And I'm like, man, I'm so lucky to be out here. It does make me feel good about my job, just being outside. So I can relate to what you're saying right now.
That's crazy. I can see now why you're so jolly. Being outside 24/7 definitely makes a difference. Yeah. I know people saw this on my personal social media, but I went to Red River Gorge this past weekend, and I haven't been out in wilderness in a minute. And wow, like we took the whole day. My wife and I took the whole day. We drove out there. It's about an hour from where I live, and just did some trails. And then we went on a sky lift where they took us on this little thing up the mountain, and we just like stood on top of the mountain and we just looked out at just like the nature, like the beauty, and it was just so peaceful. And then like we hiked down, so it's kind of expensive actually. The skylift was it was $30 round trip, and it was like, I think it was about 20-minute ride up the mountain. And I was like, they had a one-way ticket for $20 for two people. So I was like, oh, we'll just do the 20, save $10 and walk down. And the walk down was even prettier, which was crazy. They had these like beautiful like stone steps carved into the mountain, and it was just so much fun. And I left that day feeling so rejuvenated, like being in nature. And my wife, like, she was like, this was like a perfect day. It was so nice, and the weather was perfect. But yeah, like, just to kind of hit home the being outside in nature, like you just got to do it. Like even if you can't get outside, maybe during your day at work, like just take some time once a week, like just go out and just get out in the outdoors. And I know I've heard some science somewhere. I don't remember. Don't quote me on this, but where I heard it. But apparently the coronavirus is it's very like receptive to light. So when you're out in sunlight, it just like dies. So like if you're afraid to be out in nature and stuff, like there's some science that I've seen that is very indicative of it really is more easily spread indoors than it is outdoors. So you really don't need to be like running around in fear being outdoors. Personally, that's from what I've from my understanding. I know you probably should do some research, but
oh man, it's probably the best place you could be is outdoors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
physically and mentally, like we were talking about. You know?
Yeah, and just being able to, just be able to see, like, you know, like nature, like it does something, man, to your stress levels that you just can't put a finger on. It just kind of puts you in that mode. It's like so nice. But last question for you. Do you have any tips for people starting out doing toy photography that want to get into it? Maybe they listen to your episode and they're like, man, I want to try that. That sounds fun. What would you tell them?
What I would tell them is, you know, just have fun with it. You know what I mean? Just don't worry about what other people like. Just post what you like, and you know, don't worry about what kind of camera you got, because I think for the first year I used a cell phone, you know, and I mean there's still people that use cell phones that take amazing photos, you know what I mean? So it's like, dude, I mean the cameras on those things now are just unbelievable, but you know, then I know, like, I think one 6-shooter uses a Nikon Z mirrorless, which is an amazing camera that I wish, you know, I use a D750, but you know, and that was me. Like, I wanted to upgrade. I got a Nikon 3400, and then I was like, I got to upgrade again. Then I had to upgrade my lens, and then I mean, it's made an awesome, you know, what do you call it? Like a difference. It's made an awesome difference. But you know, just, you know, I would just say, you know, don't get caught up in all that. Just enjoy it, man. And then when you feel like you're ready, you know, buy your first camera. I mean, that's exciting too. Buying your first camera, buying your first basic camera, learning how to work a camera, learning how to work lighting and aperture and everything like that. You know, just coming up with something like that, it's awesome, you know, and then go from there. You know what I mean? And you know, I've talked with people before, but and I think Bananas even said it on his interview, but the two most important things, you know, don't lose sight of, because you know, some people, they want the, like, you know, like we talk about the effects. Some people want the effects and they want the flying dirt or whatever, but man, the posing, focus on your posing, because if it's a bad pose, the whole picture's off. Focus on the pose. I think posing is number one, and if you're shooting indoors or even outdoors, you know, probably lighting is number two. You know what I mean? So those are the two most important things. If you can just master those two things, you know, posing. I mean, even me, I still struggle with posing. You know what I mean? There's guys that are my buddies that I sometimes go shoot with, and they can take the figure and just make this super cool pose, and I'm just like, dude, what the heck, man?
Dude, it's so funny you mentioned Johnny. Like, he mentioned it on his episode too, but whenever he said that, like, I will not like a photo if the pose is off, and I was like, every time he likes my photo, I know my pose is on point.
Yeah, dude, he got me looking at the little details that I never did before.
Yeah.
You know,
he's so attention to detail. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what makes his work unique,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so easy to get caught up with, that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to get caught up with smoke or fireworks or something. And you don't even have both feet on the ground for your figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One foot is up, one foot's down, or he's leaning to the right. You know what I mean?
Or you got your thigh that's like splayed out, and he looks like he's like his it looked like his pelvic bone is like broken in two, and it's like,
yeah,
that does not look
right. And I know that that's a learning experience. And when you first start this, I mean, I could probably send you photos that are pretty funny. You know what I mean? I think.
Me too.
I think for my first photos, like most of them were just standing straight up. You know what I mean? Because
vanilla pose.
Yeah. So, just focus on the basics, man. And I mean, everybody wants to catch that wow effect, which is cool too. You know what I mean? But the basics, just a good pose. Yeah. I think Johnny hit it good on that one. Posing.
I agree. So, dude, thank you for coming on the show. Let everybody know where they can connect with you on social if they would like to.
Yeah, my handle's Roddy81. Come check it out. Check me out. Give me a follow or just shoot me a message. Let me know that you listened. If it was good or bad.
They always do. They're so good. The listeners are so good, man. I love them. I'm so grateful. So hit him up on Instagram. And do you have any other social medias, or is it just Instagram?
Yeah, I just got Instagram. Really, I don't do TikTok yet or anything like that. I'm kind of like, man. When I was in high school, we didn't even have cell phones, man. So like, I'm still getting used to everything. You know what I mean? Even using my email. So I'm not too tech savvy. My daughter knows more than me. If I have any phone issues, I always ask her what to do.
Yeah. No, I heard TikTok is supposed to be getting banned. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. And
I heard that too because of I don't know, something that is run by China and
yeah, some sort of political thing.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. You can find me always at Dagobah_days. You can find the feature pages I run, 112 Community and Star Wars Toy Picks. And you can find the podcast on Instagram at ToyPhotoCast. Remember, everybody, we are storytellers. Get out there, tell your story, have some fun, shoot some toys, and stay positive, man. It is a crazy world out there. And if you ever feel like you need some prayer, maybe, or maybe just some motivation or encouragement, message either one of us. We'd be more than willing to talk with you.
For sure.
Yeah. Peace out, everybody, and have a great rest of your day. Boom.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Toy Photocast with Tim Rodaloso. I had so much fun hanging out with him, and I hope you did too. Got to give a shout out to my hardcore Patreon listeners. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Stephanie Bear, Jordan Dodrill, Scott Blind, Steve Mank, and Niels Van Riel. Thank you so much, guys, for being supporters, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Get out there, have some fun, and enjoy your day. Peace.